My name is Dr. Peter Imoesi, and currently I'm a research fellow at the Institute of Medical Sciences, School of Medicine, Medical Sciences and Nutrition, the University of Aberdeen. When it comes to my academic journey, I started off my degree, my first degree, at Ambrose University, Edo State, Nigeria, where I studied for a Bachelor of Science degree in biochemistry, and I graduated 2007 with a second class honors upper division. Upon graduation, I did a compulsory 1-year National Youth Service Corps, which is the Imoesi, and I worked a little while with the banking sector and the telecommunications. Thereafter, I resigned from the telecommunication to pursue my passion, which is academia, at the University of Hertfordshire in England, where I studied for a master's degree in molecular biology with a distinction. Upon graduating from the University of Hertfordshire, I returned back to Nigeria to lecture for a while. And while lecturing in Nigeria, I applied for a number of PhD scholarships around the world. One of such scholarships was the University of Aberdeen Orphiston PhD Scholarship. And in 2016, I was awarded a University of Aberdeen Orphiston PhD Scholarship to study for a degree in Doctor of Philosophy in Medical Sciences, specializing in translational neuroscience with subspecialty in molecular neuroscience. So that's just a short overview of my academic journey. Now, when it comes to the biggest challenges and how I'm able to undo these challenges, I can't really place my hands on one so-called big challenge. But what I do know, which is common among research scientists, is the issues with protocols and optimization. For instance, you're trying to run this experiment, you've set up the required study and what is necessary to have this particular study completed. Along the way, the result you're seeing is not really what you're expecting. As a scientist, you're meant to go back to interrogate the protocol, interrogate the study, to see where the issues or where the challenges are. And many a times, it comes down with the protocol. So optimizing a protocol, for instance, could take weeks, months, at times a year. So what keeps me going is to say to myself that when it comes to experimental design and protocols, it's not really a walk in the park, and that is where the passion for science comes into bear. So my own push to keep going is just the tenacity and the passion for what I do. Now, when it comes to my biggest accomplishments, I can't really say these and these are my biggest accomplishments. Many persons will say, oh, you've done this, you've done that. But if I'm to say I've got an accomplishment, for instance, I would say is to see my proteges, students I've supervised at the bachelor degree level, and students I've supervised at the master's degree level, and medical students as well here at the University of Hertfordshire, of Aberdeen, and at the same time to see that these people with whom I've contributed one bit of supervisory role or something here and there, have gone on to become great persons in their careers. For those who choose to progress in their education, they've gone on to get a master's degree or a PhD degree, as it were. So for me, when it comes to accomplishment and fulfillment, I would say it has to do with the human capacity development. That is one of my biggest accomplishments, if I'm to say what my accomplishments are. Now, when it comes to my day-to-day life, what it looks like as a scientist. Well, the first thing is I wake up in the morning, get prepared, make a cup of coffee using my French press little cup for my coffee, get ready, head off to the Institute of Medical Sciences. Now, upon arrival, I check a couple of emails to see the pressing needs here and there, respond to the most pressing emails, then head off to the laboratory to set up my experiments. And many a times, the experiments could run for say 4, 5, 6 hours, depending on the sample size. And thereafter, I return back to the office, check a couple of emails, set up meetings where necessary, and head off home. And the funny thing about a research scientist is the work never ends in the office. So when I get home, I still go on to pick up a couple of papers, read a couple of papers, both on my tablet or the printed versions, and write a couple of drafts for manuscripts, analyze data, and the cycle goes on and on and on. So there is no hard and fast rule to my normal average routine as a research scientist. Now, when it comes to what inspires me, quite a lot of things actually inspires me as a scientist and as a person. One of such is the fact that I'm a Nigerian. That alone gives me the inspiration to ensure that I become the best version of myself, create a legacy that the upcoming generation will readily admire, and to say, you know what, if Dr. Peter Imoesi can accomplish this at the international stage, I, as a Nigerian, I can do much better. So my inspiration is to always ensure that I create a better version of myself every single day. So it means that I'm always competing within myself to be the best there is, to be the best Nigerian wherever I find myself. And by so doing, that singular push and inspiration to become the best there is as a Nigerian in my field gives me the fulfillment and the passion to keep pushing for what I do. So that is where my inspiration comes from, Nigeria. Finally, what advice do I have for my young self, or would I give to my young self? I would say never leave to chance what you have control over. Never ever leave to chance what you have control over. And I hope this short documentary will be able to inspire African scientists, Nigerian scientists, the upcoming generation, to say, if Dr. Peter Imoesi can accomplish all of this, I, as an individual, am equally competent and capable to do even much better. Thank you for the opportunity to feature in your short documentary. Thank you.